Okay, so I've gone ahead and traced or made my path around each one of the shapes. I'll just turn off the background layer so I can't see the original image anymore. And if I choose the selection tool, the top tool here, and I just wander over, I'm not clicking anything, I just wander over and you can see each of the paths I've made. They just turn red because red is the color of this layer. So there's the major contour at the outside, and then all these other contours, internal contours that I've created paths for. Okay, now these can all be adjusted. If you don't like a certain line, if you don't think a line sort of follows where it should, you can use the direct selection tool, double click on one of those things and move it to the right position. So it is flexible. I'm just going to undo that, edit undo, because I'm pretty unhappy. I'm pretty happy. With my selections. Okay, so they're all separate paths at the moment. So if I wanted to fill this with color, say black for example, then I would have to group all of these paths together. And the way I do that is I choose the normal selection tool again, and I just start up here in the top left hand corner, left click and hold and drag down, and it will select all of those paths that I've made. They're all now active and selected. You can see the things here. I could resize it now if I liked, if I held down shift. But what I aim to do is just go to the object menu and choose group. Now, if I click off now with the selection tool and I come back over, it will still show individual paths, but they are all grouped together. So if I do something to one, it'll affect all of them. Now over here, the fill is still transparent. There's no fill. If I wanted to do the next step, I'd just click and you can see all of the paths are selected. And instead of having no fill, I'm going to choose black. I can do that here, or I can do it over here in the swatches menu. If you haven't got the swatches showing, it's one of the window options, window swatches there. You can see it's ticked. And if you look here, you'll see that the swatches are actually part of your menus, your little mini menus here. So I'm just going to click on black, and you can see that it's filled the whole thing in with black. Now, the next step is to undo that group, so to ungroup them. I've done what I wanted to do, so I'll just click on it again and object ungroup. And this time I'm going to choose the areas, so I'll just click off and just choose the areas that I want white. So this part of the design I want white, so I'll just go over here to the swatches and click on white. And I'll just work my way around the design, choosing those areas that have to be white. Pretty straightforward. I mean, there's no surprise what areas have to be white. And you can see the design starting to take shape. It is a beautiful design, whoever came up with it first. Okay, and one more, and there's our design. Now, what we can do is also get rid of the black outline that I first created. Now again, I use the direct selection or the selection tool and select all of the paths that I've made. And this time I'm going to choose the stroke and I'm going to go no stroke and just click off. So I think that one looks better. So that's made an invisible stroke. There's no longer a black stroke. There's only the path that separates the design. I'll just undo that and you can make your choice. And click off. So that, or that. Up to you. Anyway, that's how you can create paths from a very pixelated image and create a perfect vector image that can be rescaled ultimately.